Today is Friday, the 26th of October, 2018. I'm Keith Warr, and welcome to another episode of Homeless in Titusville. And today I'm being joined by, what's your name, ma'am?
Crystal.
Crystal.
Did you say my last name?
Yeah.
Mafnas.
Mafnas? How do you spell that?
Mafnas.
Okay. And you live here in Titusville?
I do.
You do? And but you're homeless right now.
Correct.
Right now you guys don't have a house.
Right.
And how many of you are there? Like, are there kids?
I have 3 children and my fiance.
Okay. And how old are your children?
17, 14, and 12.
Oh, so they're young kids. They're in school. They're school age.
Yes.
And how old is your husband or your fiance?
36.
36. And how old are you?
37.
Okay. And how long have you guys been together?
8 years.
8 years. Okay. Are you previously divorced? Like he's not the father of any of the
No,
kids?
he's not.
Okay. And are the kids living with you? Do you have custody of them?
I do.
You do. So what led to you guys being homeless? Like, how come you guys are living with friends right now and kind of on the street?
It's a lot of different things that have happened. You know, I lost my job. Husband got sick, so he's lost his job. He's, a manual labor. He does landscaping, so being sick, he can't work. And, just a lot of things.
What's wrong with him?
He has what they call a heart, his blood infection. His heart doesn't pump the blood right.
Okay. And where is he at right now?
He's in the hospital.
He is.
Yeah.
Which hospital is he in?
In Woodstock.
In Woodstock. And what's your medical situation like? Like, do you have health insurance? Or?
The kids and I do through Medicaid, but he
Medicaid.
Doesn't. He has no insurance at all.
And is that complicating him getting treated for?
It is. He's not able to get any kind of treatment. He was in the hospital for 2 months at Parrish, and they wouldn't do surgery on him because he doesn't have insurance.
So he needs some kind of surgery.
He does.
What does he need? Do you know?
He needs a heart valve replacement.
Oh.
Which means opening up his chest. It's a very complicated, a very important surgery. If he doesn't get it, he could die.
So what are they telling you is going to happen?
Right now, he also has an abscess that needs to be removed, and if it's not removed, then the infection's still gonna be there.
Where's the abscess at?
On his backside.
Okay.
So if it's not removed, the blood's still gonna be infected.
So he's got like a blood infection and he's got a heart valve problem.
The heart valve problem is because of the abscess blood infection. So if he was to have that abscess removed, which is very hard to do, but if he had it removed, it could take his infection down a whole lot, and he may not have to have a valve replacement.
So, but he can't even have that done because of his health insurance situation?
Health insurance, right.
So, what is the worst outcome that could happen from this? Like, is this something that could kill him?
It could, yes. The first time I took him to the hospital, his blood pressure was like so low that he almost went into a coma. He almost coded on him, and then his blood pressure spiked really high. He was in ICU for a good week or so. He's in ICU right now.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he got out of the hospital and then ended up going back in about 2 weeks later. And they said if they were to release him now, he's going to end up back in the hospital again.
Or dead.
Right.
So, how long has he been sick?
Well, we went into the hospital the first time August 22nd, so he's been sick for a good couple months.
So did everything get kind of bad for you guys once he got sick? Like, what was your life like before he got sick? Did you guys have your own place?
We had our own place, yep. We had an apartment. He had gotten sick prior, and he wasn't able to work as much, so he kind of lost his job, and then I was trying to take care of him, lost my job. And then things just started spiraling downhill from there.
Where were you working?
I was working at Walmart.
Okay. So you're doing some kind of retail work, and you just had to constantly call off work.
I did, yeah.
Go to the hospital or pick up the kids or whatever.
Right.
So what's your situation like now? Like, how much time do you have left at the place where you're at now?
We're out of time, pretty much. We should have been out. You know, we weren't supposed to stay as long as we did. It's been over a year, so you know, it's so hard to find anything
affordable.
Right. And we ended up getting evicted out of our last apartment, so nobody wants to.
Right, because once you have that eviction on there, it's hard for other people to rent to you.
Right.
So what do you think is going to happen?
Honestly, I don't know.
You don't know. And how are the kids taking this?
They're taking it well, but yet they're holding a lot of their emotions in.
Yeah.
It's real hard.
So during the day, all day, they go to school.
Yeah.
So they're in school, and they have lunches there. They get fed there and all that kind of stuff.
Correct.
So they kind of have a normal existence for
At
6,
school,
8 hours a day
Right.
for school. And then what usually happens after school? Like, do you have to take them to the park all day to entertain them, or?
I occasionally, but we do have friends that we can go and stay, for dinner and whatnot. But like I said, that's limited.
Yeah, limited, of course. Yeah,
I mean, they want their life back.
Right, yeah, everyone's got their own life, and everyone's got limited space. I don't know too many people living in a really big house that can, spare the room, especially, you guys being a family of 5.
Right.
That's a pretty good sacrifice that one of your friends making, even though the time is up. So, do you think you'll eventually be living out of your car? Because you guys do have a car, thankfully.
Yeah, thankfully we do. It's been a thought. I mean, we have a tent in the car. We've stayed over at the campground a few times, but if I don't get the help I need with, through housing or whatnot, then it may come down to that.
So what have you applied for?
I've applied for housing, and I've applied for housing through the hospital.
So you told their social workers and whatnot, you told those people that you guys are homeless.
Correct. I mean, I've applied for housing. It's been a few years now.
So you guys have had a housing situation for more than just him being sick. It's been a while. You guys have been applying for affordable places to stay.
Because at first, he wasn't working, and then him and I both working. We don't make a lot, so it's kind of hard to afford anything. So I've been applying for housing because of the fact that we didn't make a lot of money, but I've not ever gotten any kind of housing help.
Right. So what kind of benefits? Do you get any kind of state benefits right now? Do you get any welfare, food stamps?
I get food stamps now.
You do?
I do.
And what are you guys getting a month in food stamps?
$640.
$640, right?
Yeah. And I just got this past month was the first month I'd had gotten it in a long time. I had my food stamps cut off.
But I mean, it sounds like a decent amount of money. But when you're talking about
5 kids,
5 people,
or 5 people, yeah,
that really doesn't go that far.
It doesn't.
Surprisingly enough.
And being homeless, there's not a lot of places you can cook, so you have to get stuff that's already made up. And that goes if you're buying stuff at a gas station, that's expensive.
Yeah, ready to eat stuff is more expensive for sure. So you really don't have a refrigerator to store anything. You don't have a stove to cook. And
not if we're in the car or at a campsite now.
Yeah. How about your family? Like your parents? Are your parents still living?
I have no family here.
You have no family. Well, you have no family here in Florida.
I have uncles and aunt in Colorado and in Indiana, but nobody here.
Okay. And how about him? Does he have any extended family here?
No, not anybody he's close to.
No. So does your family and friends, do they know does your family know your situation? Do they know that
they do, yeah. Yeah, my uncle in Colorado was trying to get us help get us over there to Colorado. But I mean, that costs a lot of money to move that many states over, and I have to make sure we have a job and a place to stay and all before just uprooting the kids and going.
Yeah.
So.
So he's done primarily landscaping type physical work.
Right.
And what kind of work have you primarily done?
Retail.
Retail, okay. And where were you working at? What was your most recent job that you had?
Walmart.
You're working at here in Titusville?
Yeah.
And what happened to that job?
Like I said, I got fired pretty much because I was calling out a lot.
Yeah.
Because of him being sick.
And you said you had some further legal issues right now that you're on probation and.
Yeah, I can't get into that right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. That's fine. It's fine. And how about with the kids right now, as far as like their father is he helping them at all?
Oh,
Is he
no.
paying child support?
No, he was ordered to pay child support. I got 1 month worth of child support about 7 years ago, and I have not seen any kind of support from him or anything since. My oldest daughter had surgery. She has surgery on her ears because she's hard of hearing. And I called him up and asked him for help, and he's like, no, you're not, I'm not going to help you. He's used my kids' social security numbers and gets food stamps up north. And I've had to prove to the state that I have my kids. But I've even had my food stamps cut off for not complying with child support. Even though
With you not receiving the child support.
Correct.
Not with you paying the child support, with you
not
receiving
receiving.
the child support. Because with you being on state benefits, then the state would suck that money up in order to kind of pay for the food stamps. So it's not like you're delinquent that you need to pay, and it's also not like you would benefit from this support being paid. You
Right.
probably wouldn't see any of it. I can't imagine.
No. I mean, of course it would help out with the kids, but with him not paying child support, I got my food stamps cut off because I'm not complying, which, I do not understand that at all. I mean, I've done all the legwork in finding him, finding out where he works, and turning that into the state, but since he doesn't give an actual address, they say it's not a physical address for him, that they can't do anything about it. They can't serve him paperwork, and they can't, another big thing they say is Indiana doesn't comply with Florida laws, so it doesn't matter what Florida says that he owes child support, Indiana doesn't.
So he's in Indiana right now.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
He left state, yeah.
And how long have you... Okay, so when did you ever live in Indiana? How long have you lived here in Central Florida?
I've lived here for 15 years.
Oh, okay.
I moved down here with my ex-husband, and we split up. He had issues where he was stalking me, so when he got out of jail for stalking me, he went up north, back up to Indiana where he's from. I haven't seen or heard from him since.
Wow. So how are you doing on gas money to travel back and forth to be able to see your fiance in the hospital?
That's definitely a big struggle. I have to have help from a lot of, from...
Yeah, so sometimes some of your friends give you a couple dollars in gas so that you can go up there. And what have you been doing as far as like looking for work at this time while he's in the hospital?
I have a whole list of applications I filled out. I go up to the unemployment office and fill out paperwork, and just, anytime I can, if I see somebody that says now hiring, I'll put in an application. I mean, I'm all the time putting applications out.
Do you receive any kind of benefits right now, unemployment?
No.
No. Okay. You're just using their service as a place to kind of look for some work.
Right. I have there's a caseworker, I guess you would say, that helps me look for work.
So the hospital knows that you guys are homeless. Their program over there, and what kind of help have they offered, if any, to help you guys get into a place?
Like I said, we applied for housing, so we're trying to get. It was an issue about whether he was going to have surgery or not. And like I said, with him not having insurance, it's kind of hard to.
There's a lot of people in your situation that, because they don't have insurance, they can't get the health care that they need.
Right. Right.
And that just makes things
It makes it so
really
much
tough.
harder, yeah.
You don't realize you know, how lucky you are when you have your health, and then you don't realize how lucky you are if something does happen and you have health insurance, you know, because there's a lot of people out there that don't. What did you think years ago when Obama was running for president? Did you think that, you know, are you people that had health insurance most of the time, or?
I've always had it through Medicaid.
Okay, but but having it through Medicaid, that's all dependent on what your income is and having the kids, and you know, once the kids become 18 years old, then you know the income threshold becomes lower and lower, and eventually you wouldn't qualify for any of the help. You know, and then right now he doesn't qualify for anything because you know he's just considered a single male, I would imagine, right? Does he have any children of his own?
No.
So
and it's the thing, he didn't go out and have a bunch of illegitimate children, so he can't get any help. They told him at one point if he had children that he fathered, he could probably get a little bit more help. But since he was careful and made sure not have a bunch of kids, you know, he can't get any help. Kind of messed up, but
kind of real messed up. Wow. Is there anything else that's going on right now that you think the viewers should know about your situation? Like, is there any more complications? Are the children healthy? Are all three of the kids healthy?
They're all healthy, yes. But like I said, they have to. They keep a lot of their emotions in, you know, and it's hard to. I have a counselor that I let them talk to because it's hard for them to. My youngest one is the one that tells me everything's going to be okay. So. And I feel bad my kids are in this situation.
I mean, I certainly can understand. I know a lot of people can understand that.
I mean, my youngest one is, it doesn't matter what's going on, she'll tell me it'll be all right, and I'm doing what I can, but.
And I know it's got to be tough, you know, you're the parent, you know, you're the one that should be telling her that everything's going to be all right, you know?
She tells me every night that it's okay, it'll get better. She told me last night that we're really down low and that all we can do is go up. I mean, coming from a 12-year-old, it's hard for a mother to hear, you know?
Yeah. How about any of the churches? Have you guys gone to any of the churches? Like, do you belong to a church? Have you?
No, we used to go to a couple of churches. My kids used to go to a church in Port St. John, and just that kind of, there's just no help there. So.
Yeah. Well, a lot of donations are down in a lot of churches, you know, because a lot of people don't make living wages anymore, you know. People used to make better wages, and people used to, you know, be able to, you know, kind of be able to take care of a situation like this either themselves or, you know, there are people that could afford to make donations to churches.
And now the people that used to make donations are now going to the food banks.
Right, are now the ones themselves going to the food banks. Yeah. Absolutely, because of the way, you know, wages are and things, so.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough, yeah. Do you guys go to food banks?
I do. And it's a lot different from when I first moved down here, you know, 15 years ago. The food banks, I mean, they used to give you a lot of stuff. Now it's like you're lucky to get, you know, 1 or 2 bags because nobody's able to donate anymore.
Right, and there's so many people in need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I've gone up to the church up here on US 1, and it's been packed there. You know, a bunch of people coming in for food, and it didn't used to be that way.
Yeah. Well, there's an organization here in Titusville called Hummingbird Pantry. It's at 3000 Jolly Street that you should really check out. They have clothing there, and they give a lot of really good food there.
Do they?
Yes,
Never heard of them.
Yes. You should check out Hummingbird Pantry, and they are on, you can find them on Facebook, and you can see what their hours are and what kind of help that they have for you.
Right.
So. Well, listen, I really appreciate you taking a second to do an interview, and and let the people know about what's going on. And I suggest that you join the Facebook page called Homeless in Titusville, and your video will be up there, and you can, you know, kind of connect with some of the people there, and you know, to see, who knows, maybe there's somebody that has some employment for you, or somebody who knows of a resource that you guys can use that you haven't applied for yet.
Right.
You know, to get you guys back on your feet. So this is a person here in our hometown who is having a tough time, and it's directly related to their situation with their health care. You know, health care is in the news right now. In 2018, we're talking about, you know, repealing the Health Care Act and things like that. And there are people that are becoming homeless because of their health care situation, and people who don't know what their future is and if they're going to live or die based on decisions that are made, you know, because they don't have health insurance. And, you know, how do we help those people? How do we serve those people? Because, you know, they shouldn't have to suffer these things, you know, just because of their temporary situation. You know, who knows, maybe he you know, if he's able to get healthy, he can then work and, you know, pay tons of taxes and so on and so forth, and society as a whole basically kind of recoup those costs. But anyway, until next time, I appreciate you guys watching, and if you like what you saw here, please consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll see you next time.